How many balls are you juggling right now, job wise?
I'm going to go to the Dallas Wings game tonight because I'm really anxious to see Brittany Griner and to spend time with Taurasi, and certainly so many of the Dallas Wings players who I just love and have so much respect for that franchise. Enrique, Satu, their family.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I'll ask you about that last, but this NIL thing, and I already read some of your comments on Old Dominion. You just told me that you've already sent your first payment through the app. How'd that work?
Well, I was very impressed that I did it in one swoop, to be able to send NIL money to the Lady Monarchs, to all 14 players on the team. It made me happy because Old Dominion, the power of the logo and what it does for us throughout our careers. I'm not doing this Zoom with you without, so many great people giving me a chance, collegiately. Everybody has a tradition. When I was, talking to Gary Payton and Sabrina Ionescu and Shaq and Toby Keith and Ice Cube about this, even my son TJ, who's going to do it, everybody was like connected. Toby's connected to Oklahoma, and Cube loves USC, and Shaq loves LSU. So why wouldn't we want to do something in this day and age when it's legal to help the athletes directly? I mean, think about this. In 76 through 80, when I was at Old Dominion, we won 2 national championships. I was 2-time player of the year in college basketball. I had no money. I had no money for food. I had no money for clothes. I didn't have anything because I was a poor kid. There's a lot of young people out there right now who are incredible basketball players, athletes, rowers, tennis players, whatever, soccer. They don't have money. They come from poor backgrounds, some of them don't. But
Yeah, and
why not? Why not help?
Yeah, and I guess the assumption a lot of people have is, I went to USC as a kid who was, working 2 jobs so I could and all that kind of stuff. But I guess the assumption a lot of people have is, oh, you're at a big college, you're on a full ride, you're getting free room and board, everything's fine for you. But as you said in your case, and other folks, depending on what sport they're in, that doesn't necessarily mean they've got a full bank account, right?
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think this is the first of its kind. Really, my NILpay is revolutionary because think about this. In October, the Old Dominion unveiled a statue of myself outside the arena, and it was a beautiful thing. And Pepsi and myself donated $25,000. And we thought it was going to go to the women's basketball players, but it went into a general fund. I mean, it was nothing that Old Dominion did wrong. It's they were doing what they normally do. But I thought we were going to be able to give it to the players as part of an NIL. So this, my NIL pay is direct. And when I got on my phone and it prompted me, and then it was, okay, this is what I want to pay each player, send. And now it's sitting, that money's sitting in a bank account, and it will notify the coach to tell their players, all you have to do is just download the app. When you download the app, they'll be able to get their money. They don't have to pay anything. I pay all the fees. I paid the taxes. It's their money. And it actually made me feel really good.
Well, what has been your involvement? I mean, I read that you're on the board of this app, right? What has been your involvement with it?
Well, when I first met Brent Chapman, and I fell in love with what he and his team were doing. And at this stage of my life, I mean, you know me as well as anybody, I'm trying to be the giver, not the taker. At this stage, I want to be able to help people through my Nancy Lieberman charities, through the underserved Black, brown, poor communities. And we've given millions of dollars. And when I heard what they were doing, it hit home. And I said, well, not only do I want to be a part of this, but I'd really like to be on the board. I probably turn down more boards than hop on boards because it's a lot of time and energy. But I was so aligned with their mission to help college men, women, different sports, that I just didn't want to be a figurehead. I wanted to be a part of the process.
And you're probably not going to tell me how much you sent to Old Dominion today, are you? No?
Yeah, I today I sent $4,200 to Old Dominion. That was my first start, and Coach Delisha Milton just texted me. She's recruiting, and the gal she's recruiting has a $9,000 offer from UC Irvine. So you can see it's being very competitive right now. You know, college isn't the purity of the world. It's a business. The Olympics, which everybody is like, oh my gosh, it's so pure. It's a business. And we have to be able, you know, to help those kids. And again, it's, to me, it's just a small thing that I can do for my university, and so many athletes, so many people. You don't even have to be an athlete to give back to the athletes that are currently there. It's just, if you're so moved and your heart's in it, do something.
Yeah, and so it's all good for you. Do you see any pitfalls for some of the student athletes? Any words of warning for them? I mean, assuming, you know, that, you know, windfall may be the wrong word to use, but, you know, suddenly they've got a lot of cash in hand. Or are you expecting just enough to help them out in the sports that are not getting, you know, all the money that people think they are?
Well, I mean, they're, you know, in many cases, they're not getting lottery money. I mean, I don't know, but, you know, I heard that you can Google it, but, you know, Caitlin Clark or Angel Reece or some of those athletes are upwards of $1 million. That's tricky. You know, now you're getting into lottery money, and are you prepared to handle that type of money? And I'm hoping on the big end, you know, some of those student athletes will have an attorney or somebody to guide them, and not let people become vultures with their money. Just put it somewhere in savings so people can't, or a trust so people can't get at it. But, you know, for the money that we're going to send to Old Dominion, or I already sent to Old Dominion, I hope they just feel good that somebody actually cares and somebody wants to help. I'm a sister, and I love the university. I'm just doing my fair share.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you taking the time for this. And you said you're going to the Wings Mercury game tonight, to see
Yeah.
old friends, to see Brittany for the first time in Texas in over, I think, 700 days since she's played in the state of Texas. Is it not just about the game? I mean, it's the fact to go see her for the first time?
Well, it's bigger than the game. It's real life, and I can't wait to give her a hug and just tell her that we're so happy she's safe and she's back. You know, Diana and I have been friends since she was in college, so we were texting this morning, and I couldn't wait. You know, I said, I can't wait to see you, give you a hug, and she's like, I can't wait to give you a hug. Let me tell you what, it won't be a hug. She'll be fouling me like a bandit. The girl fouls all the time, Diana. Uh, but, you know, the WNBA is this incredible, incredible family. And, you know, I was the Mercury my first year in the league in '97. I played for the Mercury. So I'll always have a soft place in my heart for them. And on the other side, I'm an ambassador for the Wings, and I'm very grateful to Greg Bibb and Amber Cox for seeing fit to allow me to be part of this incredible organization. So Arike, Satu, they're both playing at MVP levels right now. Satu is healthy. She's a beast. Arike has a skill set that most men would love to have. It's unbelievable what this team can do. Coach Tremmel, she's really good. She might be one of the most positive people I've ever seen. She just has a really cool way about her. So it's kind of neat for me to be able to, I'll go out there tonight and Friday, and I'll try and go to as many games as I possibly can. But my Big Three season is about to start on the 25th. So I'll be around, and I hope the people in the Metroplex will come out and watch the Wings.
Well, fantastic. And the last thing is, one of the other stories that we're doing today is, you know, when Brittany comes into each city for the first time since her time in Russia, you know, her story comes with her, and a lot of families are still out there hoping for the same happy ending that she got. It seems like Brittany is okay to carry that weight, and a lot of teams are helping her along the way to kind of be that poster child for that maybe these other families will have the same ending as well? You okay with that? As far as, that's a lot of pressure on her.
Well, I mean, we prayed hard and long and in masses for Brittany to come home. And the one thing that I will say is that this is what I've read, the fact that, she's kind of changed her stance on the flag and things. I think, sometimes you go to have a situation like that and all of a sudden you have perspective of life. And she's such a young, incredible woman. And I think she's fighting hard. She and her wife, Sherelle, are fighting hard, politically with the power and the weight that they have to try and get, so many of the other Americans home. It's not lost on her. I don't want to speak for Brittany Griner, so I'm parroting what I've read, and until I see her and talk to her, I admire her for not just saying, you know what, I'm home, I'm cool, I'm good. No, she cares about people, and she's going to work hard to advocate and do what she can to put light on other US citizens who are imprisoned really around the world.